In a vault, somewhere in the rolling hills of Bedford County, Virginia, there may or may not be a treasure worth well over $60 million. The map to this fortune exists. It was published in 1885 in a slim 40-page pamphlet containing 3 encrypted documents known as the BEALE ciphers. And here is the fact that has kept this mystery alive for nearly a century and a half. Only one of the 3 ciphers has ever been solved. It describes the treasure in glorious detail. The other 2, one giving the precise location of the vault, the other listing the names of the rightful heirs, remain unbroken to this day. Generations of cryptographers, even the legendary codebreakers at the NSA, have tried and failed to crack them. And for just as long, treasure hunters have torn up a Virginia hillside with shovels and dynamite, searching for something they can't prove is even there. The BEALE ciphers are either 2 things: the most lucrative unsolved puzzle in history, or the most elaborate and successful literary hoax in the American story. There is no third option. This is the story of which one it probably is, why we can't be absolutely certain, and how a 50-cent pamphlet from the 1880s is still costing people their life savings today. The story, as the pamphlet tells it, begins in the winter of 1820. A Virginia innkeeper named Robert Morris finds his establishment graced by a mysterious and charismatic guest, a man named Thomas J. Beale. Beale stays for the season, then rides west, vanishing into the frontier. 2 years later, in 1822, he returns. He spends another few months at the inn, and before departing for a final time, he leaves Morris with an iron box, heavy with secrets. His instructions are simple: keep it safe. If he doesn't return within 10 years, Morris is to open it. Beale promises a friend will arrive later with the key to its contents. But Thomas J. Beale is never seen again, and the friend with the key never arrives. Robert Morris is a patient man. He doesn't wait 10 years, he waits 23. Finally, in 1845, his curiosity overwhelms him, and he breaks the lock. Inside, he finds a plain-spoken letter. It tells an incredible tale. In 1817, Beale and a party of 30 adventurers had stumbled upon a massive vein of gold and silver somewhere north of Santa Fe. For nearly 2 years, they mined it, stockpiling a fortune beyond their wildest dreams. To protect it, they hauled it all the way back east and buried it in a secret vault in Bedford County, Virginia. And also inside the box, 3 sheets of paper covered in nothing but endless columns of numbers, the ciphers. Morris spends the rest of his life, nearly 2 decades, trying to decode those numbers, and fails. On his deathbed in 1862, he confesses his secret and passes the box and its baffling contents to a trusted but unnamed friend.
This friend, the eventual author of the pamphlet, spends 20 more years wrestling with the puzzle before giving up, publishing the entire story in 1885 and walking away from it forever. The mystery was now public property, and then someone actually solved one of them. The ciphers are what's known as a book cipher. It's a beautifully simple system. You take a text, any text, and number its words sequentially. Each number in your cipher then corresponds to a word in the key text. You just take the first letter of that word. The number 8 might mean the first letter of the 8th word. The number 142nd means the first letter of the 142nd word, and so on. The anonymous author of the pamphlet, the friend of Robert Morris, had a flash of inspiration. He guessed the key text for cipher number 2 might be a document of profound American importance. He tried the United States Declaration of Independence, and it worked. Number the words of the Declaration. Take the first letter of word 115, then word 73, then 24. A message begins to emerge, clear as day. It reads in part, "I have deposited in the county of Bedford, about 4 miles from Beaufort's, an excavation or vault 6 feet below the surface of the ground." It goes on to give a breathtaking inventory, nearly 3 tons of gold, 2.5 tons of silver, and a stash of jewels purchased in St. Louis. The decryption is real. You can do it yourself with a copy of the Declaration and an hour to spare. It's the hook. It's the proof. But cipher number 1, the all-important location cipher, and cipher number 3, the list of heirs, remained stubbornly locked. They don't yield to the Declaration of Independence, and they haven't yielded to any other text ever tried. Not the Constitution, not the King James Bible, not the works of Shakespeare or the Magna Carta. Modern computers have brute forced thousands upon thousands of potential key texts against them and found nothing. Yet statistical analysis performed as early as the 1970s confirmed something tantalizing. The unsolved ciphers aren't random gibberish. They contain real, non-random linguistic patterns. Something is encoded in them. We just can't read it. Which is exactly what a brilliant hoaxer would want you to find. The case for this entire story being a magnificent fraud is compelling. In the 1980s, cryptographer Jim Gilgally decided to see what would happen if he applied the Declaration of Independence key to the unsolved location cipher, number 1. His computer churned out mostly nonsense, but buried inside was a bizarre and statistically impossible string of letters. A, B, F, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, H, P, P. It's almost alphabetical. This is not something that happens when you apply the wrong key to a real cipher, but it is exactly the kind of pattern you might get if a hoaxer were just picking numbers semi-randomly, using the declaration as a guide to make it look authentic. Then came the linguistic analysis. In a landmark 1982 study, investigator Joe Nickel examined the prose of the pamphlet, specifically Beale's supposed letter from 1822. He found words that were ghosts from the future. The letter uses terms like stampeding and improvised. Problem is, neither of those words entered the American vocabulary until the 1840s and 50s. Someone writing in 1822 simply would not have used them. The writing style, the grammar, the punctuation, it all pointed not to a 19th century frontiersman, but to one man, James B. Ward, the person who published the pamphlet in 1885. Ward registered the copyright himself, and when asked for extra copies, he conveniently claimed his unsold stock was destroyed in a warehouse fire. And the hero of our story, Thomas J. Beale? No record of him or his 30-man party has ever been found. Not in any census data, military roster, mining claim, or hotel guest book. He seems to have been conjured from thin air. And yet, the treasure hunters still come. The Bedford County hillside has been so thoroughly dug, dynamited, and scanned with ground-penetrating radar that Virginia had to pass laws to stop it. A 2008 documentary followed a single family that had been searching, fruitlessly, for 4 generations. The dream is too powerful. The Beale ciphers are a perfect machine, an engine for belief. They give you just enough evidence to verify. Cipher number 2 cracks open and shows you the gold. They give you just enough to dream on. The treasure is specific, immense, and tantalizingly close. And they give you just enough to keep you locked out. The location cipher feels real, it has structure, but it's practically and perhaps purposefully unbreakable. So whether Thomas J. Beale was a real man who buried real gold in 1822, or James B. Ward was a clever writer in 1885 selling 50-cent fantasies, the outcome has been identical. A story was set in motion, a promise was made, and for over 140 years, people have been digging. The true genius of the Beale ciphers isn't that they hide a treasure, it's that, real or not, they never, ever promising one.